everyone, Teeny here for Papertrey Ink. I hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. Well, today we are going to create with the Big Christmas Sentiments stamp set. We're just going to make this the focal point. I think large greetings like this make excellent focal points. And then in the stamp set, there's a little bit of foliage that you can add to customize colors, just so it's just not a plain sentiment. You can add a little bit of something extra. So we're going to add some holly and some berries to our card today. I do have the coordinating die set that will cut out our greeting, and then I'm going to add some vellum to my greeting to make it soft, but also because I want to pop up my elements, and if I add vellum I can put it behind the vellum. It just makes it easier, like a landing area. So I'm going to be using the Love to Layer Arches die set. And then for my background, we're going to be using a stencil set. I forget the name of the stencil set, but it will be listed down below if you're interested. I thought we'd add a little extra color on our background panel. So we'll be using this on our card today. So let's start by creating our background panel. Actually, we're going to take our stencil. This is a two-piece stencil set, and one of them has foliage that you can put all along the background, but this one just has foliage that you can put to the left or to the right, and I do like the little speckled areas too. Just want to add a little speckleness in our background. So let's take some white cardstock, and I'm just going to line up my stencil. I'm going to be doing this quickly, so I'm not even going to bring in my grit mat. I am going to bring in my spring moss ink and my blending tool here. Pick up a little color, and then I'm just going to add some greenery here. Okay, and then that's all there is to that. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. I'm just going to line it up, hold it down with my hand here, add some ink. That is all there is to that. I'm going to take my paper trimmer and we're going to trim this down. So I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off of each side. This way I can have 1/4 inch all around my card base. So now we have a panel that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Kraft cardstock. What we're going to do is layer both of these together on an A2 panel. So I'll layer my Kraft cardstock. This is just a great way to stretch it. I'm going to add that to my card front, and then I'll layer this right over the top. Now that this is done, I went ahead and used my Love to Layer Arches, and using the largest one, I die cut out a piece of vellum. Okay, we're going to just set that aside with our card, and then we're going to do some stamping next. Let's go ahead and take our stamp set. I thought All This Calm and Bright is so pretty. I'm going to stamp this with some of my True Black ink. We're going to go ahead and ink this up. I'm going to stamp it a few times. My ink pad's a little dry. I need to re-ink it. Lovely. Isn't that a beautiful font? Okay, now while I'm stamping, I'm going to take the leaf flourishes here. I'm going to use my spring moss ink and stamp one set of these. Now I reposition them, and then I'm going to bring in another ink. This is Papertrey Ink's Ripe Avocado. It's a darker ink. We're going to go over these and stamp these one more time. Lastly, I'm bringing in New Leaf ink, and we're going to stamp these with a different color of green. Next, I think I have enough room to stamp some berries, so I'm going to be using my Pure Poppy ink, and I'm just using an acrylic block to stamp these. We'll stamp these a few times. Okay, and then I have a single berry that we're going to stamp too. For just being little stamps, even on the paper that we're going to die cut, it sure does pack a lot of punch. Okay, I'm going to take the coordinating dies and I will cut out all of my leaves and my greeting also, and I will be right back. Everything's all die cut out. Now is the fun part where we get to arrange it on our vellum arch. I'm going to start by flipping this over and adding some foam tape behind here. I'm going to place this right in the center of my arch. So we have a little dimension here, but not only do we have dimension, we have room to tuck. So I'm going to take each one of my greenery pieces, and now we're just going to add some foliage all around our kind of mixing and matching colors. After we have all of our greenery, I'm going to go ahead and add our berries. I have all the 3 berry clusters, and the little ones I'm not going to pop up because I think they're just going to be a little bit too small to pop up. So I'm just going to fill in any open areas with the single berries. Lovely. And you'd be surprised just what a few little flourishes and red dots will do. I think this is so pretty. Okay, I mentioned dimension with this. So what I'm going to do is flip this over, and all of the areas that I can, I'm going to put foam tape behind, and then we can pop this up and put it in the center of our card base. Before we add our arch, I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to punch a hole here. Maybe right about it, maybe an inch here, and then I'm going to thread some of my Papertrey Ink natural twine. We're going to thread it through a couple of times. And then I'm going to tie a knot with the twine here. And then I'll just trim that knot. Okay, so we have some twine. Now our arch is going to cover up that knot. We'll just put this right in the center. But I kind of like the earthy look of this, so I tied another double knot with my natural twine. I'm going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to secure it here at the top of this twine. And I think I'm going to add a button too. I'm going to be using my Papertrey Ink buttons. I have a really small one here that I already had for another card, but I didn't use it. I'm just going to add that to the very top. Use my Glossy Accents and go over all of the berries. Now when this dries, it goes on a little bit cloudy, but when it dries it will dry clear, and it'll give me a little extra dimension too for my background. And that will finish my card today. Kind of an earthy, always calm, always bright card for Christmas. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.